Hàng loạt điều chỉnh thay đổi chính sách từ chính phủ trong những năm qua khiến các đơn vị nhập khẩu ô tô tại Việt Nam gặp khó khăn, đặc biệt là ô tô du lịch dưới 9 chỗ ngồi. Để tìm hiểu rõ hơn về vấn đề này, Báo Thanh Niên đã có cuộc phỏng vấn với Tổng Giám đốc các hãng xe nhập khẩu nhân dịp năm mới 2020.
Well, thank you for having me, and it's great to be here, living here in Vietnam. I think it's a really exciting time when I look at the automotive industry and the economy here in Vietnam. The growth is fantastic. GDP continues to grow rapidly. Foreign investment. This is a great place right now for investors to come. I also see the middle class is growing rapidly here. And these are great signs for the automotive sector. So when I think about Vietnam, I think the automotive market is a very exciting future at a very fast pace.
I think that the motorization is progressing steadily in Vietnam market.
So yes, to talk about the market, what I can tell you is let's talk first about the full market in terms of CBU and CKD. Passenger car and commercial vehicles. Okay, so if you look at the full market, basically it looks like 2019 was a year of balance. So there was basically minus 11% CKD this year, and CKD at the end of the year should be about 74% of the volume. CBU was basically growing plus 56%, and it's accounting or should account by the end of the year 26% of the total volume. CBU increased a lot, mostly from 90% from Southeast Asia, with the import tax at 0%. And CKD basically just went back to a more traditional volume compared to 2 years ago. One of the highlights which actually made this happen is there was technical barriers on homologation of vehicles, which people needed time to overcome, and ASEAN was quicker to overcome than Europe. So some of the brands which have been suffering the most are from Europe. European brands, for instance, you have 19 brands in Vietnam. Out of the 19 brands, in 2016, 10% of the passenger car imported was from Europe. This year, it's hardly 4%. So you can see that they were the most affected by the technical barriers, and clearly when this thing is relieved, that should help the European car brands.
For the first questions, I think the balance between the imported car and the local assembled car is very important, because we do not want suddenly only the CKD, we call the CKD, is assembled car here, is only available in this market, or suddenly the all CBU occupied this market. So I hope that the Vietnamese government continue our current policy.
So that's what I just said. So basically the technical barriers on homologation for new vehicles, whether it's actually the vehicle itself, CBU, like in 2018, or for CKD it became effective in 2019, because they had a year and a half to implement for CKD vehicles, so they can also see that it's difficult for parts and components. And then you had also the safety related parts, so basically a mirror, windshield, headlights, tires, wheels, all these had to be certified, even tested in Vietnam, which was a big question mark for many companies, plus also the authorities. So this clearly generated a lot of bureaucracy and delay and cost. So those costs are totally unnecessary. They don't bring any added value, and that's why we've been advocating with the government to try to reduce or even cancel those things which are actually bringing no value, and only technical barriers which actually could even be counterproductive when Vietnam wants to export automotive product to the rest of Southeast Asia, for instance.
Look, I was appointed here as the CEO from July this year, so halfway through the year. But it's been a really exciting year for Mercedes-Benz. We've launched many new products. We launched the facelift C-Class earlier this year. We had a significant model year update with our E-Class. We launched a very exciting car, the Mercedes-AMG G63, and very recently the all-new GLE, which is packed full of new features. Comes 7 seats standard, and and it's at a great price. And even in the few weeks it's been on sale, the customers have loved it. So when I think of this, and then I think of the GLC, our number one selling vehicle and by far the most successful luxury car ever in Vietnam. We've sold now more than 8,000, and we have a facelift very early next year as well. So this is really exciting times for us. We just recently launched one of our new Ma 2020 dealerships in Những. This is a new format designed to give the customers an even greater experience when they come for sales or for service. And over the next years, we'll be upgrading our other dealerships around the country with this new format. So I think when I talk advantages, we have many. We've been very busy this year with many exciting events as well. I don't see so much obstacles, but certainly we have our challenges, I guess, like everybody else. And we have a very broad range of products here in Vietnam for Mercedes-Benz. So this keeps us very busy, launching new cars, of course, and making sure that we maintain the homologation for both the CKD and the CPU products in this country. So this keeps us busy. But all in all, 2019 is a very successful year for us and will be our biggest year in the history of Mercedes-Benz Vietnam. Look, our forecast for the market next year is to see another year of strong growth, and we plan to be a big part of that growth. As I've mentioned, we have a number of new products, but our biggest selling product, the GLC, comes with a facelift. So for sure, we can expect some really successful results from that. But overall, for sure, the automotive industry in Vietnam will have a strong year next year.
The market will expand steadily. Of course, not increase drastically, but gradually, number of the people who purchase the automobile is increasing. So next year is yes, increase.
Okay, forecasting. I would say that I see that the market this year, as you can see, with a lot of discount and promotion by the end of the year, is getting more complicated than people expected. And whether it's just temporary or whether it's actually a trend, I don't know. But, I think that we have to anticipate maybe that it might not grow as much as it used to grow. I would imagine plus 10% or plus 15% for next year would be a reliable estimate compared to the data we have without VinFast. I don't know with VinFast because I have no...
우리는 현재 베트남 정부에서 하고 있는 일들에 대해서 이해하고 있으며 존중하고 있습니다. 또 페라리는 아시아 다른 지역에서도 동일한 사항들을 봐왔으며 성공적으로 고객들의 신뢰와 자신감을 얻어왔습니다. 저는 이곳 베트남에서도 똑같은 성공 신화를 써나갈 수 있을 거라 확신하고 있습니다.
Frankly speaking, the tax structure for the automobile is a little bit high compared to Japan. But I support the current tax system because that prevents the drastic increase of the traffic. According to the infrastructure development, I hope that the Vietnamese government will review the tax structure. But the current tax structure, I think the good aspect.
For safety parts, like we mentioned before, mirror, windshield, headlight, wheels, tires. So where we need to do the certification and homologation and testing at the moment, they would instruct also Vietnam Register to actually accept certificate without testing, which for us is a massive breakthrough, because if your car has a repair because you had an accident and your windshield is broken and you have to wait weeks or months to get it tested, it's impossible to have a normal use of a car. So that's the situation we've been in so long, so far. So this hopefully is going to be basically solved. So that means customers will not need to wait for repair or technical recall. So we hope that it's going to happen.
Sure. Look, it's really important, and we comply closely with the government policies and all of the regulations here in Vietnam. We are obviously a manufacturer with CKD and also with importer with CBU. I think what's important is for the regulations that there is a good balance between both, because the Vietnamese people, they have needs when it comes to their automotive requirements, and all of those needs will not be secured purely by one or the other. So a good regulation balance between CKD and CPU would be great. Maybe making it a little bit easier for us to provide a sustainable volume of cars to meet the growing needs of Vietnam. For us, it's not really whether we focus on one or the other, because both I think are important. Yeah, but for sure we have a great local plant here, and this will underpin our volumes next year. But CBU will certainly complement that, providing more variety also for customer needs.